G'day everybody, welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3. We are still in the Shadowlands. We've come across this little camp here, which has a grave right next to it. Now, before I ended the game in the previous episode, silly me, I forgot completely to save game. So I had a lot of backtracking to do to get here. So you may notice a few things might be slightly off, slightly different. I tried to sort of just make sure that I only stuck to the stuff that we had seen in the previous episodes. I haven't exactly seen more. Anyway, we returned a garnet ring to this grave. I don't know if that is the right ring to return. After we had read that letter about that person who sort of stole the ring, essentially. I'm hoping that that's the right one, but nothing special really happened, so perhaps maybe there could be another ring out there somewhere that we need to return. Who knows? But anyway, still going to be looking around in this area and just returning from where we came. And yeah, I think as soon as I read the letter around here, I sort of backtracked back to the camp, but we haven't crossed the bridge, nor have we come down this way, I don't think. So let's have a quick look. There's a dead boar here. Don't know if we would want to take any of the meat or anything like that from this dead boar.
The curse consumes everything it touches.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's anything interesting this way. But who knows? Who knows what's ahead of us once we cross this bridge. Now, there is actually a few things that I wanted to do based on some recommendations as well, guys. So, I'm just trying to think of whether or not I should do that right away. Maybe it's not a bad idea. So, while we're sort of just about to cross this bridge, let's just go back to camp and just take a look at our equipment. One of the first things that I want to do is to look back at the diadem, which I gave to Gale, and I was thinking, you know, arcane, okay, yeah, obviously magic and spellcasting, but this is actually specifically giving us synergetic moments when you inflict a condition, and I believe it has to do with weapon attacks? Yeah, okay. Arcane Synergy is basically giving you a benefit based on using a weapon, which Gale doesn't really do very often. And it sort of combines the weapon attack damage with additional damage from your spellcasting ability. So it doesn't make sense for it to be on Gale. So thank you very much for those who suggested to take that off. I don't know what to give Gale, to be honest, but maybe we can sort of circle back to that. And instead, this might go on to Will. So let's just have a quick look at what he's got. He's got Haste Helm, which is not bad in itself, but I think maybe we could give Haste Helm to someone else. So let's take that off and let's give this back to him. Because, yes, he is going to be using his weapon quite often. So he can definitely get some benefit out of that. There's a few other suggestions that I've seen floating around as well about what pair of gloves to give him, but one thing that was suggested to me was a pair of gloves for Shadowheart, and I think we've got the gloves in question, which is the luminous gloves. This might be really good in combination with Lathander's blood, so maybe we can take that on board. And there is a piece of armor that I apparently have not come across, which I should have already, from the Selûnite camp. So we might actually return there and see if we can find that. So let me just throw this on. The only problem with this, though, is armor class will now reduce down by 1. So she's at 19 there. That's not too bad. I think this looks kind of cool with the armor that she has, the Rippling Force Mail. But yeah, so this should give her Radiating Orb Gloves. The wearer deals radiant damage. The target receives 2 turns of Radiating Orb, which is -1 to attack rolls for each remaining turn. Again, I still need some clarification on turns. Reduce the duration by 2 each time the entity makes an attack. Okay. So I'll take that on board. I think there were some other suggestions for boots and stuff like that, but I think I won't go too heavily into applying every single suggestion, because I feel like that's maybe slowing us down quite a bit. And again, guys, this is all blind anyway, so someone suggested that maybe I'm trying to game the game too much by listening to too many suggestions, but perhaps maybe there's some truth in that. I'm just not very good at identifying the decent combinations that you can build based on, you know, different pieces of equipment. So yeah, that's why I like to look at suggestions, but I also like to get people involved, you know. But there's some truth in that things tend to slow down a little bit as a result. So I'll try to strike a balance. So you may see me, you know, I guess have some really optimal stuff going on for certain characters, but then maybe not so much for others. And I guess that's just going to be the way it is. What's going on here? Dead Druid's Journal. A handwritten journal abandoned for some 50 years. It details a druid's attempt to learn more about the Shadow Curse. The entries grow shorter and more sporadic as time passes. Made good progress through the mountains. Seeing the curse for the first time filled me with an awe and fear that was difficult to describe. No writing could have prepared me, nor any artist's rendition. As grave as the Archdruid Holson's warnings were, they were still lacking compared to the reality. I shall make camp soon and press on in the morning, though in truth such terms have little meaning in this place. A dreadful night. The campfire needed thrice the wood that would normally be needed in order to keep it burning. Terrible sounds came to my ears from beyond the firelight. Rest has not restored me. If anything, I feel weaker. But I must persevere. I must trust in Sylvanus. I must venture deeper. Creatures from the darkness, foul things, one grazed me. Only my torch saved me. Deep darkness, flames are instantly doused. The wound stings, flesh is turning black with corruption. The shadows are growing stronger, they are spreading. I need to return to light. The wood will not burn. I can barely see the page. I am surrounded.
Research on the nature of the Shadow Curse. Good to know.
Okay. Let's see what he has on him. Not too much. What is this? Okay, just some rotten food. Yeah, I was hoping to be able to learn a little bit about Thaniel, but we haven't really heard anything more. Then there's the matter of trying to wake Art McCulloch up, and we need to find something, I guess, that will help with that. Ooh. Failed survival check over this side. I'm just trying to remember to switch out to better equipment for fights. And I keep forgetting to do that.
What's that?
Okay, good. Bunch of alchemy materials. And yeah, we did spend quite a bit of money, didn't we, recently, so I do need to try and bank up a little bit more where possible. Did I miss something over this way? There. Okay, where are our pathways? I wonder if we saw everything here. I think we have. So let's just backtrack a little bit and then go through this path here. There seems to be... Is this part of the big tower? No, because it's quite literally in the opposite
No
direction.
one's stopped me yet. Let's get going.
Okay, what is going on out here? Should I light the brazier? Maybe. Give us a little bit of light. Oh, okay. This takes us back to the Underdark. Where exactly? I'm not entirely sure, but I may as well just check. And... Wow, okay, this is a completely different spot of the Underdark, which we haven't exactly been to. Interesting. Let's have a read. I've been given the crucial task to clear the entrance to Grimforge for future expeditions. Trusol Nair will follow once the entrance is cleared. As I make my way to the entrance, I can't help but feel excitement. What might we find here that Ketheric created so long ago, now sealed by the curse? Grimforge could hold untold treasures for the Absolute's uses. I will continue to explore and document my findings. The entrance is currently blocked by vines and rubble, quite cursed. Explosives ought to do the job, though I'm not as experienced in such matters as I'd wish to be. I set up the explosives with care, though I admit I'm almost afraid to detonate them. There's no telling what power these cursed vines hold, what might lie beyond, or whether I've even set things up correctly. Absolute protect me. Don't know if they actually died from the explosion. There's a lot of blood here. Another broken moon lantern.
A broken moon lantern catches your eye. Its glow now snuffed out.
Can we not, like, actually get it?
Broken.
I guess not. We can't just simply carry it. And then there's an elevator. Okay, is that the same elevator that we were trying to use from the Underdark
Never mind.
maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago? Or maybe even a few more episodes ago. Are there traps here? I mean, we didn't need to...
We offer our prayers to the Dark Lady, whose comfort and grace heals all.
We didn't need to go through any checks, so...
We offer our pain to the Lady of Loss, that she may truly know her faithful. We offer ourselves to the darkness, that blessed Shah may give us her mercy.
I'm surprised that Shadowheart's not saying anything after all of that. Oh. And this is where I should really be changing to my, proper equipment for the job, but again, need to remember to do that. Okay, so let's just continue onwards, and yes, I will take the elevator to see where that takes us.
Let's see what this does.
And since we are in the Underdark now, I may as well go back to the Selunite outpost to see if I can find that piece of armor that people are sort of suggesting goes well with the gloves that we've just given to... Oh! It leads us out here. Okay. Right. I get where we are. I guess we want to just head back, although, as I said, it might not be a bad idea just to get ourselves to the outpost. Yeah, there's even a portal right there, which is good. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure where this thing is, because I have actually looted the place, right? Like, I'm pretty sure I was thorough, and I try to be as thorough as I possibly can when I'm going through any area, so we don't have to backtrack too many times, but I guess maybe it's still somewhere here. Maybe I missed a chest somewhere, or sometimes things can be very, very well hidden away. Did I miss anything in here, maybe? Nope, nothing there. What about back here? So there's this gilded chest here, which we definitely interacted with already. Oh. Let's get more people doing the check. Come on, folks. Okay.
That might be worth a look.
There we go. Alright. So I guess maybe I didn't find this last time. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Oil barrel. Gotta be careful around that.
Step carefully. There's a trap.
Ooh, okay. Well, let's prepare. Good stuff. And I wonder if we have a key for it. Nope.
Can't keep me out.
I wonder if anyone does any playthroughs where they don't take the benefits of, sleight of hand and, things that would essentially let you open things where you normally cannot. Because obviously there are keys everywhere for most things, I would assume. But I feel like there has been situations where, like you find a thing and you never find the key for it. Unless you're supposed to backtrack. quite heavily, which I don't know if I would like to do that. Luminous armor. Radiating shockwave. When the wearer deals radiant damage, they cause a radiant shockwave. Inflict radiating orb in a 3-meter radius. So, the issue that I have at the moment, though, is the fact that we have, you know, sort of received, you know, new pieces of armor here and there, and perhaps maybe we've got better things already. Like, this is armor class 17. Right, like... I guess the difference here, though, is that this goes up to 17 anyway because she's got enough dex to bring it up. And then there's other things that are giving us additional armor class, like the shield. Force absorption. Gain force conduit when taking slashing, piercing, or bludgeoning damage. Force conduit. 1 to 4 force damage. Yeah, it's really difficult to commit to certain pieces of equipment, but I'm gonna go with what was suggested recently for Shadowheart. This actually looks like a really cool piece of armor as well. It's only medium armor though, but looks nice nonetheless. And apparently this is kind of like a set, maybe? I don't know if there is a pair of boots for it, but that looks pretty good for Shadowheart, so we'll continue in that vein. I've only just replaced her her armor recently as well, so... but anyway, let's make our way back, and I sort of need to continue, obviously, our expedition. I feel like maybe I need to backtrack all the way to the last light inn, perhaps. Or, hang on. Maybe Grimforge is better. And we can just simply take the elevator. Assuming we don't really have any issues just going through this door with these guys.
Still breathing, despite everything.
When it's not, you'll be the first to know, stick shit.
So someone was also just mentioning that the... was it a feat or something that we could choose for Will with Eldritch Blast? You could actually, you know, the knockback for Eldritch Blast, that is. You could technically switch that on and off. I did not know that. Had I known, perhaps maybe it would be a decent upgrade to have for Eldritch Blast. But anyway, we have made our decisions, and there were quite a few different comments around the ability point distribution, which I was very much expecting. Again, I'm really having trouble trying to figure out how to balance things properly. But anyway, doesn't matter. You know, I'm going to press on, at least for a little bit. We can always respec again at some point. But I think I'm going to stick with what we have for the moment, otherwise we won't progress. This is where we came from, right? So I guess there's nothing more up this way. We should just explore near that camp. And once we've done that, I think we can backtrack to try to traverse towards the tower and see what's happening out there. And it'll be interesting to see whether or not the the blessing of Selune actually holds up in that area. So yeah, up this way. We'll probably maybe swing around if we get the chance, but again, let's tread lightly. Might leave people here, and I'll just take blue to explore up this way. I might see if I can speak to the dead there.
Always room for more.
Speak with the dead. There we go.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
What happened to you?
The forest. No escape. The darkness turns all. Twists all.
What were you doing here?
Scouting. Seeking. Gaps in cultist defenses.
A gap in the defenses out in this area? Seems a little improbable, but maybe. Did you find a gap in the cultists' defenses?
Caravan to Moonroy's towers. Know how to keep the shadows at bay.
Yeah, okay, we already know that though. I suppose this could be, you know, something that we find initially if we were to have taken the elevator up from Grimforge out into the Shadowlands. Where did you come from?
Last light in. Sanctuary from darkness. Stronghold.
Who are you in life?
Dull light spark. Scout.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
Okay. Didn't really learn anything that we didn't already know, but... Harper Journal. Let's have a read. We are running around trying to find the borders of that blight. The ruins east of Last Light proved to be highly dangerous with deep, biting shadows. Another suspicious one is that house on the hillock, a little farther on. It seems dark and empty, but voices come from there. One of the others swear to me that he heard a child's laughter and saw Githyanki warriors approach the house from a distance. Surely his imagination must be getting the better out of him. But yeah, we have already been there. So what I'm not entirely sure currently is why there are some dead Githyanki out there. That much I didn't really understand. Oh yes, that's right. We did see the ritual circle. He who was. Is this a... No, okay, it's a different guy that we saw who was, you know, flagellating himself. Yeah, we ended him, didn't we? If I'm not mistaken. So do I swing around there first. Maybe no. Maybe we go through here first and we see what's going on.
Where lies your guilt?
The waning moon.
Not many people out here in the darkness.
I am not people. Though many would question how wise it is to approach a stranger in the dark. Be on your way. A fair point. Perhaps this one could assist us. The murdered lie silent. The raven asks, will you be their voice?
Their voice. One thing that I'm regretting before approaching here, well, a couple of things. I wish we were wearing different equipment, but also I wish we had already cast Speak with Animal, because I think we could have maybe heard what the raven was actually saying. Speak plainly. What are you talking about?
Forgive me. It has been some time since I spoke to another. This woman tended a bar where she took her patrons, her friends, into her confidence, promised their secrets were safe with her. Yet she turned their words into knives and stabbed them in the back. They died because of her, and to this day her victims lie unavenged.
So, interestingly, I'm just making some commentary here, but we haven't had the brand appear or, you know, our tadpoles sort of reacting to this guy. So, I'm making an assumption that he's not part of the cult. She's dead. How much more can she pay?
Death is not the end. Merely another beginning. I seek a record of this one's crimes, written in her own hand. Through it, I can summon her spirit and force her to face trial for her crimes.
Why would you do that?
My reasons are of no consequence. Your soul sparks with justice, with fortitude. This is your chance to bring a murderer to justice, to avenge her victims. Will you take it?
I'm not sure, but sure. Yeah, we'll help.
I thank you, as do those who died by her words. Go to the distillery, the one she calls the Waning Moon. Find the ledger and bring it to me.
The Waning Moon. Punish the wicked. He who wants to bring justice to the victim of a murderer, to do so, he needs a ledger belonging to the killer. It is hidden in the Waning Moon. Ah, okay. An area which we have not been to. Which is near the tower anyway, so we're going to have to go in that direction. That's fine. We'll definitely do that. Another quest in the backlog. But I am curious about what's going on here, and maybe I should actually do Speak with Animal right now, and I can have a chat with the Raven.
Everyone hates you.
Oh, excuse me? I'm a friend to all, little raven. There is no need to be cruel.
You think the creatures of the realm owe you something just because you never shut up. They whisper about you, you know. Call you stupid and ignorant. They wish you were dead.
I wonder if this has something to do with, perhaps, just thinking out loud here, our track record with animals, because it hasn't been the best. Let's just say that. We've tried our best to, you know, save people. There's a whole bunch of stuff here which we could potentially grab.
I thought so.
And I wonder if he would be annoyed at us if we did speak with the dead with Madeline. So I'm just gonna do a quick save here because I am curious to ask some questions of my own. So let's recast that.
Corpse does not stir. It will answer no more questions.
Oh, okay, because he's already cast his spell on it, I guess. Okay, well, we'll have to come back, or do we maybe have another chat? I don't know if he can tell us a little bit more.
This one is a murderer who walks free. She deserves to be punished. Or will you deny her victims peace?
Okay, nothing new, but we'll definitely swing back around here when we get the chance. And hopefully we find that ledger. But it kind of seems like one of those quests that, you know, it sounds straightforward initially, but then you might discover something about this person. Perhaps maybe we might have some decisions to make later on.
A couple turns should do that.
Pretty good there. 31. Sort of thinking about whether or not we're going to be able to open some really, really tough chests towards, you know, the middle and late games. Because I've been hearing from a few people that we might need, like, a 30 for some chests. I don't know if it would go further up from 30. But even getting a 30 is pretty tough. That's why we're banking up these, you know, lockpicking tools.
North, Last Light Inn. South, Risen Road. West, Rythwin Town.
Okay, so I think that's it for this area, which means that perhaps maybe we do want to backtrack, although I haven't really been to the center area here, which could hold a few bits and pieces, so let's backtrack that way. Yeah, so these guys are going to get ensnared, which is kind of annoying. They do take a little bit of damage as well. Yeah, so down here, and then we'll loop back up slightly this way. Have I seen everything, including the areas that we were sort of traversing while we were part of the caravan? I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure if we've seen all of that. I think we've done a decent job, though. Oh, we've gone a bit too far. I'll go this way. Yeah, looks like they connect. I'm just gonna maybe swing up this way. Ooh. Yep. Bit of a fight on our hands, I assume. Shadow-cursed shambling mold. Ooh. Yeah, it's got sight lines everywhere. We're just outside of it. Is there a way we can perhaps maybe surprise this thing? I don't think so.
And these things have stayed interesting.
Okay, he's got the high ground as well, which makes it quite difficult for us. But I'm thinking of maybe just doing something like... Oh yeah, there's a few other enemies in there as well. Let's start with that. Oh yeah, there's quite a few of them. So they'll have to walk through all of that, and I'm fine with that. I would like to get Blue up this way where possible, but perhaps maybe I don't really want to leave Blue up there on his own, because these guys can pretty much just gang up on him. So maybe once they've all sort of moved out this way, we'll see if we can try and get Blue to move forward and then just do like a misty step up there. Seems like a decent idea to me.
My turn.
So, Karlak. We can probably get ourselves up there with a jump. I would have liked to use Frenzy, but I'm thinking I probably won't be able to do that. So yeah, maybe let's turn Shockwave on. And let's just get a little bit of extra damage in there. Then we're going to want to maybe get her to move back in the next turn. Maybe? I'm wishing I had quick saved before all of this, but considering the number of enemies. And let's do distracting. Okay, decent damage. Will, I think this is the perfect opportunity for us to do something like this, for instance.
Let my enemies fall.
Okay, decent. So that's a couple of them taken out already. We'll pull Will back a little bit. Very nice. Oh! 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 Wow! Yikes. Oh, these harpers have revived because of the shadow curse. Not a fan. We're going to have to re-kill them, I guess. Not enough movement speed. I think I'll just perch you up there, and that's fine. Ursa. Let's get you in. I need hands. Good.
Got to focus. Moving.
Turn. I think these guys will be affected, right? They're undead. It seems like a decent option, although perhaps maybe healing Karlak would be a good option as well. She's prone for a couple of turns. She's entangled. I need to get Blue to maybe stop concentrating on the spikes. But yeah, let's try and keep Karlak going. I might actually do that as well. Oh, hang on. I need to be able to touch her. Okay. Let me do... yeah, something like that. That looks good. Okay. Just trying to remember, don't we have a spell that makes it so that they can't be... yeah, okay, Sanctuary would have done it. Unfortunately, that's a bonus action. Okay. Maybe this might not be a bad idea. Freedom of movement. Is her condition at the moment stunned, though? I think it's just prone. You need to touch the ally, though. So that's a problem. What about stone skin? Yeah, okay. That's also not going to work. Crusader's Mantle. We don't have blue in here. Maybe in the next turn? Call forth spirits to protect you. I think we do... Spirit Guardian. That's a concentration spell, though. Which means that I wouldn't be able to do Stone Skin after. But if I do Freedom of Movement... That's not a concentration spell, so I could do that. I could still do Turn Undead, and these guys will, I assume, be kind of useless. I'm super confused. But I think I might try Turn Undead in this instance. Take a couple of them out of the picture. I think they just can move or something like that away from... Hang on, let me read that again. The affected entity must move away from the creatures that turned it. It can't take actions, bonus actions, or reactions other than dash to try and escape the effect. Okay. I think that's a decent move. Oh, okay, one of them saved anyway. Yikes. If I disengage this, does that count as an action? I don't think it does. But I may as well cast my Hunter's Mark on now. That way, yeah, Karlach won't have any issues moving around there. And yeah, let's try and do some work here. Again, I've got the wrong equipment on, don't I? Not great. Okay, decent. Let's head in this way.
I'll catch a break.
I don't know if Misty stepping up this way is a good idea. I'm not sure if we actually have an angle.
That's what favors the fearless. Coming through.
So let's do Melody. We'll do Sing. And we can do that. Oh, no. Yeah, we didn't manage to save her before this thing started moving again. Not great. I may as well get Quoth in, and we'll try and blind this thing. Also act as a distraction, which would be good. And turn there, and yeah, Okay, blue is the one that's been captured now. That's horrible. Yeah, I need hands. It's fine. Good. I sort of want to engage immediately here. Just in case it decides to move around a little bit.
Need to stay focused.
Come to think of it, that might not have been the best move. I'm gonna do Sanctuary for blue. And yeah, I mean, ideally I would have liked to maybe use this. Could I do Revivify? Maybe. I may as well give this a try.
On my way. So Spirit Guardians. Oh, okay, caster can't become invisible. My bad, I think I read that incorrectly. Nearby enemies take 3 to 4 radiant damage per turn and their movement speed is halved. Okay. Which means we really want to try and get in as close as we can. Those goddamn vines. Alright. Good. Jump in there and yeah. Should be able to get in close.
Let my enemies
And oh no. No. Alright. Baneful Strike, that's good. Oh, hang on. I think we've got a bit of an issue here. Every creature takes the damage. Oh, okay. That's horrible. Righto, guys. Sorry about that cut there. I did have to step away for a few hours, in fact. So I'm having trouble trying to remember now where we were at. But I've made some horrible decisions here with Shadowheart being too close to our allies. And yeah, she definitely shouldn't have been using Spirit Guardian's aura. I thought it was just enemies that would take damage, not allies. I think they're all getting damaged here, which is really bad. So I do need to maybe pull Shadowheart back a little bit. Let's try our best to do a little bit of extra damage here. Okay, good. I can also do help using Ursa now, right? So that's really good. Oh, hang on. What happened there? Oh yeah, there we go. So blue's back up. And let's end turn. Yeah, this is not great. I really do want to just try and move out of everyone's way.
Got to move.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not really in a decent position to do Sunbeam. What else can I do? I guess I can do a few heals. Maybe I can heal Ursa, or maybe even do a Revivify on Karlach. Mass Healing Word. Seems decent. Hang on. Healing on a creature you can see. Or do we do Bless? That might also be decent. He's got a lot of HP, but he's not going to last too long against this shambling mold if we stick around. Tricky. Let's do Spiritual Weapon. That'll give it another target to have to deal with. And I think we can then do something like Bless, or I don't know if I should keep this on. We have used up one spell slot for it, so if she's gonna tank, it might actually be a decent thing to use. I'm just concerned as well that if we try to heal Ursa, it'll just take a few more hits and die anyway. So that'd be a bit wasted. Or another option for us is to do... where was it? Beacon of Hope, but I guess that'll break concentration here, which is what we don't want. Let's do Spiritual Weapon. Okay, I don't think it matters what we take here, so let's just do a Greatsword. And yeah, let's Bless. Do I give Ursa a blessing? I think that's probably going to be wasted. Oh, hang on. Oh no. Okay, this is also a concentration spell. God damn. All right. Oh, this is going super well. Anyway. I suppose there's no reason why we would want her to move back again. Now that she's not injuring everyone else. Man, bit of a waste on a lot of my selections there. Ooh, okay. Shocked, cannot take reactions.
Need to find a way
Oh no!
forward.
I'm really tempted to just get Blue out of the way. I think I will. And yeah, we should just take our actions here. Still got a lot of HP, and with Karlach not being available to us, yeah, we're definitely dealing less damage than I would like. And turn will. Yeah. Okay, Blue's not really doing too well because of this lightning immunity. Eldritch Blast might not be a bad selection. Though, is there a way we can just get in there and wail away at this thing? I think we should be able to do that.
Today, you fool.
What just happened there? Alright. One more. Good. And I'm going to use this actually. Let's do Slash the Weak. I probably should have used that first before actually going in there, but all good. Ooh, yes. Ooh, yes. Ooh, okay. Entangled. What issue did Shadowheart have? Ursa. Let's get in there. Or, maybe we could use Ursa to get Karlach up. I think that might not be a bad idea. Okay, and do we leave Ursa here? Perhaps maybe we could disengage and then just bring Ursa back this way. Or I could leave Ursa here as a distraction. Maybe that's not such a bad thing to do.
Can't afford to let up.
Let's do lacerate. Yes. Okay. A little bit more to go.
Act fast.
Maybe if we want to position Shadowheart to do Sunbeam. Even if we take out the spiritual weapon, I don't mind that. It's just that this is difficult terrain. Hang on. Where's our option for Sunbeam now? I suppose I could... Wait. Oh no, there it is. Sorry. I'm like, getting confused. Yeah, yeah, let's do this. Spiritual weapon might take a hit, but that's okay. Nice. Alright, that was pretty bad, to be honest. People are still taking a bit of damage from everything. What was that exactly? Digestive juices. Okay. Yeah, that was pretty horrible, actually. Well, doused in corrosive digestive juice. This creature takes 1 to 6 damage per turn. Vulnerable to piercing and bludgeoning damage and can be devoured if it's also restrained. Oh wow, okay, I didn't even know that. So I guess we all sort of got lucky in not getting devoured. Anyway. This is what we're after, right? Out here.
Don't give me trouble now.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad fight. I definitely wasn't prepared for it at all. Wasn't wearing the right equipment, made some horrible decisions. Ring of self-immolation. Set yourself on fire to gain heat. Okay, but I guess you would be burning, but I guess if you were really focused on using heat to deal additional damage, it could be good.
What's inside?
Fool me to think I'd fare better than the other treasure hunters in this god's cursed wasteland, but the promise of a cursed beast as a trophy was a temptation I couldn't leave behind. Bloody needle blights took me by surprise, though. I'm not sure how. How could I have expected anything less? It's all so much worse than I had imagined. Found a key up here, but unless it unlocks a chest full of water and sunlight, I've no use for it. A key. Oh, hang on, there we go. Was it for this chest? Possibly. Anyway, let's jump back down. And yeah, plenty of things to loot, I guess, including these dead harpers. And yeah, I'm going to need to get our summons back, etc, etc. Probably a good idea for us to immediately do a short rest. And try to recover quite a bit of HP.
Nice little nap. What's the story?
Karlak, do we want to heal Karlak up a little bit? Might not be a bad thing to do.
Take you.
Okay. She's slightly injured, but I think we can still weather the storm with 50 hit points, so that should be fine. I reckon this is a place for a break, guys, so when we come back, we'll loot everything, and just judging by all of the stuff that we've seen, I think this is the end of the beginning area of the Shadowlands. Actually, there's a little bit over here which we haven't seen, so perhaps maybe we want to go back there, but after that, we're definitely going to go to the Toll House and see whether or not we can survive with the Selunite blessing. Anyway, guys, chuck me that like down below if you enjoyed it. Stay true, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.